welcome to another day and another day of Dose of Did You Know, where intriguing, unique, inspiring individuals come to talk about love and life and how it's brought them to where they are today. I am your host, Danny Rocco, and with me is Adam from Feeding Heroes Foundation. I had to think there. I was like, there's sometimes I get tongue tied up in this brain of mine. I didn't want to screw that one up. Yes, score for me today. Adam, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. So before we get going, tell the world a little bit about who you are.
So my name is Adam Jones. I'm part of Feeding the Heroes. My partner Matt couldn't be here today. He's at work. And basically what we do is we travel around and we'll get with different counties and we'll feed all the veterans, first responders, police officers in that county a nice hot fresh meal. It's our way of giving back and saying thank you for what they do for us every day. So, we'll go from county to county, depending on the size of the county. We're 100% mobile, so we'll actually go to a local police station, a local fire station, and set up there. And the ones that can come to us and pick up the food. And we'll actually have volunteers that sign up to deliver the food to stations that can't get to us.
That's really cool. But why food? I mean, that's not your actual trade that you do every day in your life. You're a welder. You come from I come from a welding company family actually too. My grandfather, welder, he made all the bridges up in Philadelphia. It's hard work, scary, by the way. Not like people just think like, anywho, but why food? Like what?
Me and Matt both have a restaurant background. Just growing up, cooking in restaurants, your first job, second job, whatever.
Yeah.
But we both love to cook, and it's sometimes it's a competition between us. We'll both try to cook the same thing and see who can do better. And that's just kind of how it got started as far as the food goes. Nobody ever goes away mad if the food's good.
Yeah. No.
Starting off with just veterans. A lot of these guys don't have, I say a lot of them, there's some that don't have somebody to talk to, somebody to sit down and have a meal with. So that's how it got started. We wanted to feed some veterans, be able to sit down and talk to them, and just kind of go from there with it. And it's just grown a lot.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, food opens the heart to everyone. So Italian, come from a big Italian family, big Italian dinners. It's not like you come in and leave in 20 minutes. It's hours. But that's some of the best times you have when you're just sitting back. People put love in the food. So you're eating. I believe everything in your life has energy, right? So if you consume something that was made with love, it just takes it to the next level. But so I feel like that's where you're coming from also, but why did you even start? What made you did you wake up one day and be like, I got to do something?
Well, I'm a veteran myself. I was in the Air Force. And yeah, we just had some free time on our hands and we always wanted to give back, trying to find a way to give back. So we started off doing some welding projects for some veteran organizations in our area. And then just sitting around talking in the evenings, we both love to cook, so let's do a veterans dinner. So we started. Matt said 150. I said no, that's way too many. Let's start off with like 80. So the first one we did 150, of course. But now we're at a point where we can do 400, 500, 600 people, and it's not a problem. And we don't like you said, putting love in it. We don't do frozen food. Everything we do is made from scratch. So that's kind of our little touch to it.
Yeah. I want you to go into that because it's not just scratch. You cut up the chicken, cut up the vegetables. It's like you're walking into your home. That's what I feel like. It's like if I come to this event, if I was a veteran, that I would be walking into your home, like into your backyard.
Right. So yeah, we order the chicken by the case because we go through a lot of it, and we'll hand trim the chicken. We'll fillet the breasts. We have a special marinade. We marinate them in for 24 hours. All the vegetables are hand cut. The salads that we serve, the macaroni salad or pasta salad, it's all made from scratch.
Yeah.
We take time off of work. We have a commercial kitchen that we work out of that we're allowed to use for these events. So it's not like we're making it in the backyard in the heat. It's all done in a controlled
Top
environment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is the marinade your own special secret?
It is.
It is. I had Mikey B on yesterday, and he has Smoked Bro. So he's a veteran himself, and one of his companies, Smoked Bro. It's like seasonings. I should connect you guys, like that collaboration. Anyways, that's like just a side note that popped into my mind. I'm always thinking something about it. Hey, you got to. How do people know? So it's one thing to have this heart and that you're going to put all this energy in and you're going to create all this food. How do people even know where you're going to be? How do you get that out there?
Now that we're a little further in and we're actually going back and hitting some of the same counties again, I already have the contacts, but I'll take a month. We try to do one of these once a month. And so I'll take a whole month trying to get I'll dry call all the police stations in a county, all the fire departments in a county, because it's the bigger the county, the more in charge people there are. So yeah. I'll call this number. They're like, no, call this number. No, call this number. No, call this number. So it's a lot of, just blind calling people. And then you tell them what you're doing. They're like, really? I'm like, well, yeah, because they don't necessarily believe you right off the bat.
Right.
So that's how we got started with it. The last event we did in Clayton County was through the Rotary Club that kind of helped us fund the event. So we went and fed the Rotary for a lunch to tell them about what we were doing. And the guy that was in charge of the lunch actually invited the brass for that county. So all the police chiefs were there, all the fire chiefs were there. So they were all right there in front of me. I didn't have to make any phone calls. They walked up afterwards, handed me a business card, and we went from there.
Man, that's it. Because I always think sometimes people have these great intentions, but it just goes dead in the water because either they think it's a good intention, so people will just magically show up and they don't have to do anything about it, or they just don't have the business kind of thinking that you got to put the work into it. So the point of me wanting to know that is, shoot, you do a lot of work before you even show up on that day. A lot of calling this number, calling that number, people not understanding, having to go this way. But you're right. The people in the community have got to know, I would think, where the individuals that need it are. I mean, have you ever come across a county or had a struggle of people just being ignorant to the need?
Not
without naming names,
but it's figuring out how to get everything set up at one location. And we first started, we tried flyers, we tried, and we wound up having a lot of leftover food. So anytime we have leftovers, even now, we go to the local fire departments in that county or on our way home, and we'll drop off plates to the fire department in a different county to make sure that nothing goes to waste. But we left that first event we did, and we had half the people show up. So we had half the food left. So we started hitting fire stations and police stations on our way out. And we're like, hey, why didn't you guys come over to this? It's a block and a half away. Well, nobody told us. What do you mean nobody told you? I'm like, we dropped flyers off at the headquarters. Well, that's they're not necessarily going to tell us because they're off on the weekends and they forget to put it down the chain or so on and so forth. So rather than let that happen again with all the extra food, when I call the local fire department, I'm like, hey, how many guys do you have on for a Sunday? This is what we're doing. So they'll give me a head count of exactly how many people are on shift. So that's how many plates we make for that department. And we'll do the entire county. So Clayton County itself was 630 people. And we fed them in about an hour and a half.
That's crazy. That's like a machine. You guys are a machine.
Oh, it's awesome to watch. It really is. And it's not the cooking part's the easy part. It's the volunteers, and we have awesome volunteers. We'll show up for an event, and we'll have 40 people volunteer to show up, and all of them show up plus more. And they just set up assembly lines, and they're just awesome. Yeah, they're just awesome.
Yeah. I really, really, I think why you can do it and it's so successful is that you don't pass the buck. Like they didn't show up, but you're like, well, why not? Oh, okay. Well, then I need to fix that. There's so many things and so many people that have this mindset of, well, it didn't work. It must have been because somebody didn't do something, instead of saying like, no, I might not have known, but I need to find out what it is so that I can fix it for next time instead of just
Yeah.
passing it along. And then something so great like what you're doing it would not work. It would be non-existent.
Yeah, and every time it's gotten better. We've figured out, little simple mistakes that we made, or some stuff we didn't do, or stuff we didn't have with us. So event up until Clayton, that kind of went, that was almost perfect as far as an event can go. We took, I think, 15 or 20 deliveries to different stations. Clayton's a big county, so the smaller stations couldn't come to us, smaller police stations. We were probably 20, 30 minutes away from them. So rather than try to have them send one of the 4 or 5 officers they have, we loaded up the volunteers and said, hey, go take this to them. And they knew we were coming already.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had set it up all month.
That whole entire time. Man, I got one of those calls last night from the clearinghouse. What is that called? I wrote it down. Hold on, they give money. Publishers Clearinghouse. Publishers Clearinghouse. Right. I got it. I got this phone call saying I won $18 million and all of this stuff. And I was like, boy, if I won that money, I would be like, because I get so excited. People say, what's your hobby? I'm kind of like, well, like giving back, like doing these events I do or volunteering. That really is my hobby, as like, I don't know, uncool as it might sound to people, but it's like, if I won that money from Publisher Clearinghouse, I would seriously just like travel around, volunteer. The nonprofits that I think are worthy meaning that they actually put back into the community. Because there's a lot of nonprofits that just use it to say, like, look at me, and they live off the income, which I can't stand that. I'm like, you can't use your status or whatever to like make yourself a job, basically. You know what I mean? And then I would just give. So, man, if that publishing out there, I'm manifesting that. If that publishing clearinghouse happens, I'm coming your way, Adam, whether you like it or not.
That would be great. Yeah. As far as the nonprofit goes, we do take some donations in. We have businesses in the community that'll help us out. The Rotary clubs that help us out to do these events. But nobody in our foundation takes a dime. We go, most of the time we'll wind up out of pocket at least at some point.
Yeah.
But we go to zero with whatever we have after every event. We try to take in, anything more than what it's going to cost to do the event. And then there's always, oh, hey, let's do this at the end. So we'll throw in, because who doesn't love bacon? So we do bacon at almost every event. We've probably cooked 60, 70 pounds of bacon. We did the one a couple months ago. We cooked 40 pounds of bacon just for that event.
Oh, yeah, because everybody does it. Bacon tastes good. Put bacon on anything, plain or anything. I mean, bacon coffee, I haven't had it. No one's thought of it yet that I know of, but I bet you it would sell out. Bacon coffee makers out there, like, everyone loves bacon. How do you cook your bacon? Because that's really hard for me. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've tried baking it. I've tried it on the, on a grill, on the stove. It's a disaster when I do it.
We have 2 large 6-burner flat grills, and we'll load them both up with bacon. One, it seasons the grill to cook everything else on, but yeah, we'll fit all that bacon on one grill and then swap back and forth. But
you don't have that fire that starts, because I feel like if maybe you might not want me while you're cooking. My energy might just like cause chaos. But I'm a great server. You tell me to show up after the cooking is done. But you don't get like a grease fire that goes on. Maybe it's because you guys actually know what you're doing.
No, because it's like basically like a big griddle. So nothing drips down inside where the flame is.
Oh.
It's like a big cast iron pan, is what the flat grill is like. So
yeah,
it works really well.
I still might think.
We do bacon too, because we feed all our volunteers. We feed them all breakfast, the ones that show up early. So we'll do bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, just to make sure they get to eat. And then we always make sure there's enough food for them when the event's over too.
bribing. You're bribing me. We're all about it. You're making it just like top of my list: bacon, breakfast, cooking. Where I'm obviously not doing. No, I am a good cook. Don't let me. Just not with bacon. Just bacon's dangerous. It comes out tasting good. It's just dangerous in my world. Fire alarms going off. It's a little crazy. But you have something special, cool coming up that Tony Turner was talking about. He will be there. I know it's right in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, June 27th. It's going to be at Natural Enclosures Fence Company where I work. They're huge supporters of what we do. This will be our second time feeding Henry County. Feeding Henry County Heroes is what we call the event. We'll feed about 400 people that day over the hour and a half that the event's going on. Tony is coming to sing the anthem. We're super excited about that. We're hoping that Mark Peterson can come down from the People's Patriot Project. It'd be awesome to see him again. The new sheriff of the county is supposed to be coming to the event. We're hoping that we can get a special guest. I'm still waiting on confirmation from that, but we're hoping that that Shaq can show up. He's the community liaison for the sheriff's department. So if he's in town, he wants to come. It'd be cool to have him there.
Are you going to be kind of putting pictures or live streaming or something of like that as it's going on?
We're not very good with the live streaming part. That's kind of, I'm hoping Mark shows up. that's more his thing.
Wink, Mark. I am talking to him later, so I'll give him
we always do pictures and videos of the events. We try to get the really close fire stations and police officers to come right to where we are. That way, all the volunteers, and it's a family event for us too. So our kids are there. So we'll get some fire trucks to come in, to let the kids on the fire trucks. We'll get to feed them. All the volunteers get to shake their hand instead of just watching the food go out. They actually get to interact, with the heroes that get to come to.
Oh, cool. Well, I can't wait because I do want to hear Tony Turner sing the national anthem. I was talking with him. I feel like every time you hear someone sing it, it's completely different, because it's something from not just their voice, obviously people's voices, but I feel it's like something from their soul comes out very different. So I want to hear that. And
especially with that song, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just nosy. I want to know what it's like. I want to see the food come out. I want to see the assembly. I want to see the cooking. I want to I'm a nosy nugget, a nosy Nelly. Yeah, Chatty Cathy, Nosy Nelly. That might be my nicknames. But man, Adam, I'm so glad I met you at Bold Patriot when we were out there with Chris Turner for the Freedom Tour. You guys were awesome, supporting another foundation, and I love that, right? Like everybody coming together, supporting each other, lifting each other up. That's what it's supposed to be about. That's how we get stuff done in this world.
That's right.
Just being giving and loving. I know Travis from Oscar Mike Radio, he's out there watching. So Travis, leading with love and living your truth. Those are my things that I torture him with all the time because he needs to find love. But anyways, before I let you go, I ask that you answer this last question with the first thing that comes to your mind. You don't have to explain it. It's just whatever comes to your heart. Spit it out to me. In this moment right now, Adam, what does love mean to you?
Oh, boy. I mean, for me, it's just, like we love what we do. So giving back any way that you can to those that are out there every day sacrificing, show them, you love them. It's that you appreciate them. It goes a long way. It really does.
I agree with you 100%. And you are living your truth. So hoorah for you on that one. And thank you so much for everything that you do. And when I win my Publishers Clearinghouse and I have $18 million, I will be there every single time, right? I will give the food. It'll all be provided there for you. And I will be right behind you, not cooking, but serving. And to everybody else out there, thank you so much for watching. And remember, as always, love hard, love pure, and love proactive. Until next time, take care.